All right, let's go ahead and move along to our next piece, making quadrilaterals. Quadrilateral, quad means four, so something four-sided. For this lesson, as I was going through, for this piece of the lesson, as I was going through, I determined that the easiest way to do these steps here in the way that's going to help us is by using the geometry feature of the toolbox. So you're going to come down here, click on tools, and click on geometry. Okay. And that will open up a little window right here. Hopefully you've got that. So we aren't going to use the feature, the box that we're given, simply because it doesn't allow us to do what we're being asked to do. So the geometry tool does. So our first task is to draw a triangle. Well, down here in the geometry toolbox piece here, if you will look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th icon from the left or the second icon from the right, it looks like a triangle. It's got 3 points. If you click there, we can draw a triangle and it says select all vertices, then the first vertex again. So if we're drawing a triangle, we need 3 vertices. So here's my first vertex. Here's my second vertex. Here's my third vertex. And then I'm going to click on the first one again. And now I have a triangle. Okay. If you need to delete it, then you can come over here, click on the hamburger, and click edit. Oops, hold on. Where did my delete button go? That's fun. It's here, I promise, because I've used it. Not quite sure why it's not letting me delete. Maybe if I do, yeah, there we go. I can highlight the pieces and hit the individual delete button. Okay, so if you need to delete it because it came out wonky, then go for it. All right, so once again, I'm going to click, 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 and then go back to my original vertex, and there's my triangle. So step 1, done. Find the midpoint of the longest side of your triangle. So the longest side of my triangle here is segment A to C. Segment A to C is my longest side. Now here's a fun trick to find the midpoint. Remember, midpoint is going to be the exact middle of the segment. So that's another reason I chose this geometry tool, because hey, it's got a button we can push. What's better than that? So I am going to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4th button. That's to the left of the triangle button, that one right there. And then I am going to see, if you hover over them, it tells you what the feature does. So I'm going to the 1, 2, 3rd button, and it says perpendicular bisector. Okay, perpendicular bisector. So to bisect something means to split it into two. Bisector, split it into two. So I can use this perpendicular bisector feature, and I can click on the 2 points that I want the exact middle between those 2 points. So the 2 points I want the middle for is the exact middle between point A and point C on my triangle. And then it shows us a perpendicular line, but we can click on the point feature here, and I can put that point right there on that side of my triangle, the longest side of my triangle, exactly where the middle is. So that's the midpoint. Okay, so once again, I've got my triangle drawn. To get that exact midpoint between A and C, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 icons in. Kind of looks like a lightsaber right there. I'm going to click there, and I'm going to click on the one that says perpendicular bisector. Then I'm going to click on point A and point C. That puts that line directly in the middle between A and C. Then I'm going to use the point feature here to place the point on the segment AC, That's directly the middle. That's my midpoint. So there's my midpoint right there. Okay. All right. Now it wants me to rotate our triangle 180 degrees using the midpoint of the longest side as the center of rotation. So I'm going to rotate my triangle 180 degrees. It doesn't have a direction on there, remember, because for 180 degrees, it doesn't matter. You could go clockwise or counterclockwise, and it's going to land you in the same spot. Okay? So for oops, I did not need that. For the rotation feature, okay, go away. There we go. See this little scrolly bar right here? I'm going to scroll, scroll, scroll until I get to this icon here, the one that kind of looks like a sideways division sign or a percent sign. And when I click there, that gives me all of the transformation features, reflection, rotation, reflect around a point, around a circle. I want this one right here, the rotate around a point. And it kind of looks like a badminton birdie a little bit. So it is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you hover over it, it says rotate around a point. So that's what I want. And I'm rotating my triangle around point D. So you can see down here, it gives us the instructions. Select an object. Ooh, there it is. Select object to rotate and the center point, and then enter the angle. So the object that I'm rotating is the triangle. So I'm going to click there on the triangle, and you can see how it highlighted the triangle. I'm rotating around the midpoint here, which is point D. So I'm clicking there, and my angle of rotation is 180 degrees. And remember, it doesn't matter clockwise or counterclockwise, it will land me in the same spot. So then I click OK. And there it does. It rotates for me. Isn't that amazing? Yay. Okay. And then labeling the corresponding parts and mark what must be congruent. Remember, congruent means equal. So which sides match up to be congruent? So for instance, here's our original triangle here. I wonder if I can make it a different color. I don't know. Ooh, yes, I can. Ah! Oh, it probably won't let me do that after the fact, huh? Yeah, it won't let me do it after the fact. Okay, I'll learn. Good to know for next time, right? Okay, so the original triangle is this one right here, the lower one. It goes A to B to C. So A to B, that first segment, what on the second triangle corresponds to A to B, with A to B? So here I can use my text feature here, and I can say that for segment A to B, it matches up with segment A prime, B prime. On that second one, those are two congruent corresponding parts that are congruent. Okay, now before you're going to do that with as many of the pieces and parts that you can label. So I've started you off here. Before we move along, I am going to grab a screenshot of this work here that we've done in the geometry tool because it doesn't save. So I'm going to click new. I'm going to grab just that piece. Okay. All right, and I'm going to save it so that I can insert it in later. So this is lesson 2.1, number 3. So I save it, and that way I have it because I can insert it in later. Okay. So down here in number 5, you've got some questions to answer. What type of quadrilateral have you formed? What did you form? What type of four-sided figure is this? What is the definition of that quadrilateral type? Now, your triangle might look different than mine, so therefore your quadrilateral might look different from mine, but what type of quadrilateral do you have? Why must the quadrilateral you have fit the definition? Why does that have to be true? Okay, and that is what you are doing. Now, the lesson summary down here, if a part of the image matches up with a part of the original figure, we call them corresponding parts. So if they're in the same location, they're corresponding. That part could be an angle, a point, or a side. We can find corresponding angles, corresponding points, or corresponding sides. If two figures are not congruent, then there is not a rigid transformation that takes one figure to the other. Knowing the corresponding parts of congruent figures are congruent can help prove that two line segments or two angles are congruent. So here is where you can upload, hopefully. Okay, hopefully you can upload the screenshot you took of the geometry piece up here. Hopefully you can get that in so that that can be saved. Also, you could try putting it down here or up here in number 5 so you can refer to it, because you can upload an image. Let's see. I don't know if it will allow me to do that, and it puts the image all wonky. So maybe you can do that better. Maybe because I'm in the teacher piece and not the student piece, I can't get it to upload into here, but maybe you can. Hopefully. We'll see. Good luck. If you have any questions, please send me a chat message or an email. I will do my very best to help you as best I can. If there's anything you need me to know about today's lesson, again, please send me a chat message or an email so that I can make the lessons better next time.